And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you. Aquaba. Welcome. Welcome to another round of our Thursday broadcast, Tech and Future Talk here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. On Tech and Future Talk, we look over the horizon. We look at technology. We look at future trends, all areas of human development. Today's date is Thursday, the 15th of January, the birth anniversary of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Of course, they will celebrate the holiday on Monday. And I say greetings to each and every one of you to our Thursday program. It's a pleasure to have you with us. This is what we call Tech and Future Talk here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Let me turn on my chroma key, and we will be live and direct with another round of our Tech and Future Talk program. Bear with me as I'm trying to figure out why in the last few days has this thing been acting very strange. She's so strange. I think we got it now. And here we go. And fade the music. And we are live and direct here on your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Let me tell you what we have on the agenda for today. We got a good program. This is again, we are continuing our ongoing series of what we call the AI Academy, the Artificial Intelligence Academy. We are teaching. I am teaching as I am learning, and we're doing the best we can to show you what you have the capability of doing with your future. If you should choose to. Doesn't take a lot of brilliance, but it does take a willingness to change. And that's not a bad thing. Change is a good thing. Welcome to Tech and Future Talk. In 2026, here, wait a minute. Oh, don't say that. In 2026, AI doesn't just assist, it blends seamlessly with your voice. This week's episode dives into using Claude.ai to craft articles that mirror your unique style so precisely you'll swear you wrote them. Discover how to train AI with your writing samples, fine-tune your tone, and generate authentic content faster than ever. Faster than ever. It's pretty amazing the way it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a brief of the Academy video. And first of all, going to welcome you all to the program today. This video I'm going to show you is entitled Write Articles So Good That You Can't Tell You Didn't Write Them. So what is this going to be? Hey, look at this. I'm going to show you. First, I'm putting up the link for our YouTube family, putting up the link for our YouNow family, not YouNow, it's Rumble family. That's our main broadcasting channel. And then I'm going to play this short piece of video. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're in the audience today, let's hear from you. There's no shame in letting everyone else know that you do listen regularly to LIB Radio. So checking in, hit the like button as early as you can, because we are going to do amazing things together, no doubt. So I'm going to add this to the stage. I'm going to mute my microphone while the video is playing, and then I'm going to come back in. I'm not going to play this for too long. It's not that long a video, but I'm going to mute my microphone, go over to here, and we will hear the video.
What if you could write articles with AI that were so close to your writing style that you couldn't tell the difference. I'll show you how to do today using Claude AI. I'm Mark DeGrasse, founder of the AI Branding Academy, and I've written quite a few articles, both with AI and without. The problem I have these days is that I can't tell the difference between which ones I wrote and which ones I use the machine to help me write. Now, this isn't an easy process like write me this article. What it actually requires is that you have a pretty sizable piece of content to feed into AI to train it your writing style, and then using a prompt structure that really gives the details of the articles you want to write in order to get the information out of, in this case, Claude AI. Now, the mistake most people make is that they assume that AI is going to come up with ideas for them, and we don't really advocate that. We still want ideas to be your ideas. Use AI for ideation, use AI for research, but don't use AI to make up ideas and then claim that you're yours, because that's fraudulent. If you used another person to do it, it'd be the exact same situation. It's not really an AI that I'm talking about. It's creating genuine content that you really want you. Don't get a too thin cloth, and it will take a little bit of effort. You'll have to have written a article or some piece of long form content that really represents your writing style, and then also you're going to have to provide the ideas in order to write the article itself. So I'm going to show you the full process that I personally use to generate content, and hopefully they'll give you some idea of just how accurate it can be if you use a method like this to write your articles. All right. So to start, all you have to do is go to the link. I'll include this with this video. How to write articles that sound like you wrote them. Pretty obvious, thing that we're doing, but there are some specific details that make this powerful. So first we have to do is analyze our writing style. Now, again, you do have to have a piece of content. If you've never written an article, this isn't going to work for you. Or it doesn't have to be an article, but I like articles because it gives some, the AI some idea of how you think, how you process things, how you structure information. All that could be represented in a previous article. So if you've never written an article, I'll make another tutorial about how to write an article, but just know that you have to write something. It needs to know. And now there is a hack to this. If you don't want to write an article, what I would do is give a presentation to Zoom and basically deliver the information like you would during a presentation. It can take transcriptions and actually does a great job with those as well. So just do it in a presentation format so it has an idea of how you structure information. Okay, so here's prompt number one. Please analyze this article I wrote. And then it says you're going to paste the article and then please provide detailed analysis of the writing style, including sentence structure, vocabulary level, tone and voice, paragraph organization, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's going to create a brand voice out of your writing style. So let me go and copy this. I'm going to paste it into Claude, and then I'm going to replace the brackets. That's what we do with all of these. In this case, here's my theory on how AI is going to impact content creation. Again, don't worry too much about formatting, and I'm just going to say it. Sometimes it'll put it as an attachment. You can see pasted. I'm just going to say view attachment. There we go, and hit enter. And this actually happens really fast. And you might say like, well, which article should I do? Do the article you like the most that you think you sound the best in. I have an article that I wrote for digitalmarketer.com about stop calling it digital marketing, it's just marketing. But I did a ton of research, I did a ton of graphics, I did a lot of work for it. So
All right, I think that was enough of the video there. Now I have on my screen pulled up the lecture and his instructions. I pasted all of those, and we're going to go into it today. Now, I actually did the experiment, and it turned out really pretty fantastic. Now, when the article did come out, it did have a few facts of life that were inaccurate, such as it said I had a son, and I don't have a son that I know of. I don't have any sons, 3 daughters, no sons. But it did go through and it did find me. And I could read it, and I did hear me in it. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of what it came up with today. So what I'm going to do is find out over here. This is my superfood plan for your whole family. That was the name of the article when it was finally finished. And I will say this, it's based upon I'd written a series of prompts for, I pulled up those prompts, program ideas for the conscious Rasta. And the first one on the list, Chef Keaty Longevity Secret, my superfood plan for your whole family. And that was the article that did finally come out in it. Now, let me show you first how I did it. I did it the same way he said. Why you need existent content samples. And now here's the thing: the content sample I used, which is based upon the theme. The article was based upon the theme of living superfood secret, a recipe and family for your whole family. The thing is, the content sample that I used was actually a chapter in my other book, and the book it was called. Let me think. From Pen to Power, 90 Days to Write and Publish Your Book. So the thing is this. I took the writing sample, was completely unrelated to what I wanted it to write about. And it actually turned out pretty doggone amazing. I got to say, it's pretty amazing. Now, it did examine my writing style, and I'm going to give you some of the things that it gave me about my writing style. Now, more instructions you will need: how to analyze your writing style with AI, step-by-step process for maintaining authenticity. That's very, very important. Common mistakes to avoid, tips for genuine content creation, and then there were homework, of course. So, how to write articles that sound like you wrote them. The first thing I did was I pulled up Claude on the AI, and the Claude platform is here. I'm going to put this prompt up so you can have access to it too. Hey, listen, I am studying this myself from Mark DeGrasse. I think he's doing a fantastic job of it. And I'll be honest with you, if you want to study it as well, you should get it from me, getting it from him, as getting it from us. I don't own it. He owns the content. So therefore, I am using it to empower myself. But I want to empower as many of you as possible. And this, I'm not charging you for. This is the People's Academy. Now, many of you donate to the People's Academy, thereby keeping it open for yourself and keeping it open for everyone else. So I encourage that activity. That shows integrity. So the integrity that I'm attempting to demonstrate, and I hope this is coming across, is that I am not going to charge you for what I am getting free from Mark DeGrasse and his 28-day AI Academy. I can't charge you for that. Now, if you choose to use my personal services because you want to get tutored on this personally, or if you want to learn to be a writer, I do have, the book is out, From Pen to Power, 90 Days to Write and Publish Your Book. I think we've found something really, really awesome here. So let me go further from what it gave me back. So I put it in, it did a detailed analysis, sentence structure, length, patterns, vocabulary level, and word choice tendencies. Is getting all of this from my book, From Pen to Power. Paragraph organization and transitions, any unique stylistic elements or recurring devices, specific examples from the text that illustrate each stylistic element, an assessment of how formal or casual the writing is with examples, a breakdown of any specialized terminology or jargon used, notable rhetorical devices or persuasive techniques employed. So after all of that analysis, excuse me while I clear my throat, This is really my first speaking of the day, and I get really excited. It's pushing the yesterday out and the overnight out of my lungs. So now it's assessed it all. After analysis, it says summarize the key stylistic elements that would be needed to replicate to accurately mimic this writing style. Now, here is what came back. Input style from the last prompt. Core beliefs and perspectives. Now, let me see if this is what came back or it's still asking me questions. Okay, here's what it's looking for. How do you typically organize your thoughts? Do you prefer to start with broad concepts or specific examples? How do you usually conclude your pieces? Please write an article about your topic that incorporates these elements while maintaining my authentic voice and perspective. Now, this was in the prompt that I put in. And the prompt is coming back. And it's telling me now key elements for replicating this writing style. Number one, sentence rhythm and pacing. Now, it's saying it's telling me what it's going to do. Alternate between short, punchy declarations and longer flowing philosophical statements. Voice and tone signature. Prophetic declarative statements, meaning prophetic, looking over the horizon, with unwavering confidence. No hedging, no perhaps, and no maybes. First person assertions of power. I am statements. Mix militancy with spirituality. It's confrontational yet mystic. Shift fluidly between I, individual authority, we, collective identity, or you, direct address. It talks about the vocabulary blend. Combined elevated academic language with accessible conversational terms, including occasional profanity or certain interjections such as BS and Diddy. I do not cuss, and I did not cuss in the sample I gave it, but I did use the statement BS, and it did use it one time when I read the finished product. To punctuate formality, use power verbs. Wield, unleash, reverse, transform, propagate, incorporate. Spiritual mystical language such as sacred, alchemist, wizardry, illuminate. Point 4, anaphora and repetition. Repeat opening phrases for rhythmic emphasis. I am, I am. Echo key concepts throughout. The pen is mightier than the sword. Metaphor, sovereignty, narrative control. Use proverbs or quotations as bookends. Introduce them early and return at the end. Dialectical or non-standard grammar, strategic. Occasionally use non-standard constructions as political statement. I writes what I speaks. This should feel intentional, not accidental. Claim linguistic sovereignty. Binary oppositions and antithesis. Constantly contrast. Oppressed or oppressor. Rich or poor. Powerful, humble. Frame arguments as reversals. We can reverse the relationships between ... Use yet and conversely to pivot between opposing ideas. Extended metaphors. It's examining my style. Build entire piece around certain central metaphor. Pen as weaponry, alchemy, wizardry. Later, multiple related metaphors that reinforce the same contact. Not later, layer. Multiple metaphors that reinforce the same concept. Make metaphors tactile and active, not abstract. Building authority. Self-cite previous work or expertise, including formal definitions or quotations from institutions, historical figures. Reference extensive reading, thousands of books it's quoting me. Reclaim master craftsman or expert status directly. An emotional, intellectual balance. Never be purely academic. Infuse scholarship with personal investment include moments of vulnerability. Lack of clarity is humbling. That's a quote from my writing I submitted. Alongside confidence, evoke historical trauma while projecting visionary hope. Point 10, temporal and cultural laying. Connect ancient practices to contemporary technology. Temple walls to, quote, digital formats. Reference specific cultural frameworks such as Ubuntu, Afrofuturism. Invoke collective ancestral wisdom and continuity. Number 11, paragraph structure. This is very important. Use bold thematic headers as theses statements. Organize in conceptual blocks rather than traditional essay structure. Transition through philosophical pivots and contrasts. Citing me, it says, yet dash when, and that's a pivot. Yet let ideas emerge organically rather than following rigid topic sentences. Number 12, sermonic call and response pattern. Make a problem statement, an authority citation, personal testimony, vision, call to action. Build toward crescendo moments. End sections with memorable, quotable declarations. I bet you can't wait to hear what it came out with. It was pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome because I'm going to use it. Number 12, hyperbolic stakes. Amplify to ultimate consequences. Tens of millions dead. Nuclear weapons. Frame writing is literally world-changing power. No false modesty. Claim transformative capacity directly. So the core formula is as such. I have a confident, prophetic voice in my writing, academic grounding, plus spiritual metaphor, plus political militancy. There's a rhythmic variation. Collective identity equals this distinctive style. The writing must feel simultaneously like a manifesto, a sermon, a scholarly essay, and a personal testimony all at once. Now, to me, that's what I want to read. I want to read from a brother that has a prophetic voice, academic grounding, and spiritually metaphor. Political militancy and rhythmic variation, collective identity, collective identity. This is the distinct style. So, are you ready? I think you are. Are you ready? Let's read the outcome of what it came up with for me. I'm going to present my screen, share screen. I have Microsoft Word up, and it is window. This is it. I think this is it. No, that's not it. Here it is right here. I'm going to share this screen, add it to the stage. This article, it came back with, again, I gave it the title. I gave it the theme. And that's very important. It's going to be autonomous only to the point that you allow for it to be autonomous. Now, I'm going to go ahead, put this in read mode. Now, this is going to fill my screen. And just double checking, this is in read mode. And let me shrink it just a little bit, but not too much. I want you to be able to follow along. So here's what the AI wrote, and it is, to the best of its ability, mimicking me. Now, one thing I always do is I always begin my chapters with a quote. This time, it only had me to be able to quote. It says, a people that eats poison cannot think clearly, and a mind clouded by toxins cannot strategize freedom. Now, of course, in the real world, I would correct that eats poison to eat poison, cannot think clearly, and a mind clouded by toxins cannot strategize freedom. I like that quote. They want you sick, it said. Ooh, let's go back. They want you sick, your children to be lethargic. They want your elders dependent on pharmaceutical interventions that treat symptoms while ignoring root causes. This is not a conspiracy. This is a documented strategy, the logical extension of systems designed to extract wealth from our bodies while we remain too weakened to resist. But I have discovered the antidote, and it grows from the earth. Now, it's even going to the internet and it's referencing my work. This is pretty interesting because this was not in the writing submission that I gave it. Food as psychological warfare. In my 1997 book, Missing Assets, Cultural, Biological, and Psychological Origins of Infertility, I documented how the U.S. food industrial complex operates as an instrument of biological warfare against targeted populations. The numbers tell the story. Our oppressors wish to suppress. Chronic diseases ravage our communities at rates that would spark international outcry were they occurring in other populations. Diabetes, hypertension, obesity, cancer. These are not random misfortunes. They are the predictable outcomes of a poisoned food supply. The corporate food system floods our neighborhoods with processed death disguised as convenience. High fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, artificial colors derived from petroleum, preservatives that extend shelf life while shortening human life. They call it, quote, food, but it functions as slow motion genocide, breaking bones and hurting people just as surely as any weapon of war. Yet when these same nutritional principles are wielded by caring, nurturing, honest agents, by mothers and fathers who understand sovereignty begins on a dinner plate, they uplift the family. Food becomes medicine. The kitchen becomes a laboratory. And we transform from passive consumers into active architects of our collective health. I am a chef and a healer. I change my family's future by refining what enters their bodies. I am a chef and an imaginative creator in the culinary arts. I am an alchemist in my kitchen, and my actions turn ingredients that heal into meals that delight. I possess the power to nourish and transform. My hands connected to ancestral wisdom accumulated over millennia of human relationships with plants, with soil, with the intelligence embedded in whole foods. Should I choose to wield this knowledge, I can reverse the relationship between wellness and disease, between vitality and depletion, between the food industry's profits and my family's thriving. We unleash nutritional strategies that transform bodies and create sustainable health trajectories upon which our children can build sovereign futures. Through these superfoods, which I will share with you in this plan, I wield the power of nature to reverse decades of dietary programming designed to keep us dependent, sick, and economically exploited. And I tell you, this is how I write. Now it's doing a real good job, and I did go through and I did some editing on this, took some words and substituted a few words and things before putting it in this format. But this is undeniably me. The superfood arsenal. Ancient wisdom meets modern science. Let me be clear about terminology. When I speak of superfoods, I'm not referencing the marketing gimmick of wellness industries that appropriate our ancestral knowledge to sell expensive powders to privileged adults. I speak of whole foods, many of which sustained our ancestors through conditions far more challenging than our current moment. These are food foods science now, these are foods science now confirms contain extraordinary concentrations of nutrients, antioxidants, and healing compounds. That whole paragraph needs to be formatted because I can see one, it changes the font in the middle of the paragraph and it literally changes it in the middle of a sentence. I will go back and change all of that to the Calibri or the font that I'm using for this document. And then it starts to break down. These are foods, it should say the foods science now confirms contain extraordinary concentrations of nutrients, antioxidants, and healing compounds. And it should be a semicolon at the end of that, or a colon at the end of that, which is now going to lead to leafy greens, the foundation. Kale, collards, mustard greens, spinach, chard. These vegetables carry minerals pulled deep from deep soil, iron, calcium, magnesium, along with chlorophyll that literally builds blood. Our elders knew this. They cooked greens daily, not because they lacked options, because they understood cellular nutrition before laboratories could measure it. I prepare greens 5 days a week for my household, not boiled into submission as poverty cuisine, but lightly steamed, sauteed with garlic and ginger, dressed with lemon and quality oils. My children eat them because I have made them delicious, and their bodies crave what nourishes them when given the opportunity. Berries, antioxidant warriors. Now, this also is really grasp my style of breaking up my overall document into bite-sized pieces. So I do this quite a bit. I will put the subheader in. This is header number 3. And then I will put in just a small amount of very powerful concentrated knowledge. So berries, antioxidant warriors, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. These fruits wage war against oxidative stress and inflammation at the cellular level. They contain compounds, anthocyanins, resveratrol, ellagic acid, that protect DNA from damage and slow the aging process measurably. Now, many times I will insert a footnote at that particular point, and it did not use any footnoting, but I will anchor that footnote for you to take a little side turn and go research this. I buy organic when possible. Frozen when fresh is unavailable or prohibitively expensive. Flash freezing preserves nutrients effectively. There's no shame in frozen berries. There is only commitment to getting these compounds into your family's diet consistently. We blend them into morning smoothies. We top oatmeal with them. We eat them as snacks. 1 cup daily per family member. This is non-negotiable in my household. And again, this writing sample was given from the first chapter of From Pen to Power, that chapter entitled The Pen is Mightier Than the Sword. The rest of this AI, Claude.ai, has searched across the net and found out what I'm about. Legumes, protein independence. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, black-eyed peas. These humble foods contain complete nutrition, protein, fiber, complex carbohydrates, minerals, B vitamins. They stabilize blood sugar, feed beneficial gut bacteria, and cost pennies per serving. The meat industry has convinced Americans that protein means animal flesh. I would have put the word carcass in there, but animal flesh, you understand. Preferably factory farmed and hormone injected. BS. There it is. There's the language that it's using. That's the closest I'm going to come to cussing. Legumes sustain civilizations and built pyramids and empires. They can certainly fuel your family's daily activities while saving money that can be invested in your children's education or your community's development. I cook large batches on Sundays. I season them properly, cumin, turmeric, garlic, onions. I make them taste so good that my family requests them. This is the craft of the conscious cook. Cruciferous vegetables, detoxification agents, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. These vegetables contain sulforaphane and indole 3 carbinol, compounds that support the body's natural detoxification systems and have demonstrated anti-cancer properties in peer-reviewed research. There I would put in another footnote, or maybe two. Given the toxic burden our communities face, environmental pollutants, pesticide residues, industrial chemicals in water and air, we need these detoxification pathways functioning optimally. I serve cruciferous vegetables 4 times weekly, rotating varieties to prevent boredom. Whole grains, sustained energy. Quinoa, brown rice, oats, millet, and farro. These grains provide sustained energy without the blood sugar spikes of refined carbohydrates. They contain fiber that feeds your microbiome, the trillions of organisms in your gut that influence everything from immunity to mental health. White rice, white bread, white pasta, these are nutritionally stripped foods that contribute to the diseases decimating our communities. I removed them from my home. My family now eats only whole grains, and within weeks, their energy stabilized, their focus improved, and their digestion normalized. And of course, that paragraph is out of context because my family never ate them at any time in high amounts. Never did. But it shows a very important point, and that is it's contrasting the shift. Nuts and seeds, healthy fats and minerals, walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, chia seeds, and pumpkin seeds. These foods provide omega-3 fatty acids essential for brain function, along with zinc, selenium, and vitamin E. The brain is 60% fat. It requires quality fats to function optimally. I keep jars of mixed nuts and seeds accessible. I add ground flaxseed to smoothies. I make nut butters. I teach my children that these are brain food and they consume them eagerly before school. Garlic and ginger, antimicrobial medicine. These are not merely seasonings. They are pharmaceutical grade compounds with documented antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and immune supporting properties. I use them daily, generously. They cost almost nothing and provide more health benefits than most supplements. During cold and flu season, I make ginger garlic tea with lemon and raw honey. My family rarely gets sick. This is not luck. This is strategic nutritional intervention. Turmeric, golden anti-inflammatory. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is one of the most researched anti-inflammatory substances in nutritional science. Chronic inflammation underlies nearly every degenerative disease. I add turmeric to rice, soups, smoothies, and make golden milk, turmeric, black pepper, coconut milk, and honey several times weekly. Now, it did just add that. I have not done that, but I'm going to start doing it immediately. Turmeric, black pepper, coconut milk, and raw honey several times weekly. Black pepper must accompany turmeric. Piperine increases curcumin absorption by 2,000%. This is the kind of ancestral knowledge that now confirmed by modern research. Fermented foods, Gut Health Foundation. sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, tempeh, and quality non-dairy yogurt. I had to put that non-dairy in there. These foods contain living, beneficial bacteria that colonize your gut and support immune function, nutrition absorption, and even neurotransmitter production. Your gut produces more serotonin than your brain. I make my own sauerkraut, cabbage, salt, thyme. I buy kimchi from Korean groceries. I serve small portions with meals. Now, how did this AI know that I get my kimchi from Korean grocery stores? How did it know that? It's true. I serve small portions with meals. This is how humans ate for thousands of years before refrigeration and industrialized food processing destroyed our relationship with beneficial microorganisms. Next, it includes the 7-day family superfood plan. This is not a theory. This is what my family eats. I provide this framework so you can adapt it to your household, your budget, and your circumstances. Monday, detox day. For breakfast, green smoothie, spinach, bananas, berries, flaxseed, and almond milk. For lunch, lentil soup with carrots, celery, garlic, and turmeric. And also put in my lentil soup, I also will put, along with the carrots, cabbage. Dinner, roasted broccoli and cauliflower with quinoa and a tahini dressing. I like that. Going forward, snacks, apple slices with almond butter and mixed nuts. Tuesday, energy day. Breakfast, oatmeal with walnuts, chia seeds, blueberries, and cinnamon. Lunch, chickpea salad with tomatoes, cucumber, and lemon garlic dressing. For dinner, brown rice with black beans, sauteed kale, and salsa. For snacks, carrot sticks with hummus and orange. Wednesday, brain food day. Breakfast, whole grain toast with avocado. I don't eat bread. I don't toast stuff. But I'm not saying don't do it. Whole grain toast with avocado, flax, seed, and tomato. The reason I don't eat bread is because bread, for me, is inflammatory. I gain weight when I eating bread, which I don't mind gaining weight right now because my weight's low. But when I was struggling to keep my weight lower, I could not and would not eat bread. And that's just a habit now. It's persisted well over 10 years. So lunch, miso soup with tofu, seaweed, mushrooms, and brown rice. For dinner, baked salmon, I do not eat, or tempeh, roasted Brussels sprouts, and sweet potato. And for snacks, trail mix, nuts, seeds, and dried berries, and a banana. Thursday is immunity day. For breakfast, berry smoothie bowl with granola. I like that. And my breakfast for me is at 12 noon. It didn't put my intermittent fasting into this document. But berry smoothie bowl with granola and hemp seeds. For lunch, white bean and kale soup with garlic, ginger, and turmeric. Dinner, stir-fried vegetables, broccoli, peppers, bok choy, with tofu, ginger garlic sauce, quinoa. And for snacks, pumpkin seeds and clementine, which is a form of tangerine. Friday, strength day. For breakfast, scrambled eggs, I will not touch them. No, no, no. Or chickpea scramble. Or I can make a tofu kale scramble. But scrambled eggs, I ain't eating nothing out of a chicken's cloacus. With spinach and whole grain toast. Lunch, black bean tacos with cabbage, slaw, avocado, and salsa. Dinner, lentil curry with cauliflower, brown rice, and a side of kimchi. For snacks, celery with almond butter and grapes. So Saturday is family feast day. Breakfast is whole grain pancakes with berry compote and nuts. Now, I do make whole grain pancakes, so that's in Recipes Volume 1. Um, and nuts for lunch, large mixed salad, greens, chickpeas, vegetables, seeds, olive oil dressing. And for dinner, vegetable and bean chili, cornbread, and sauerkraut. For snacks, popcorn, air cooked, with nutritional yeast on it, and fruit. Sunday is preparation day. For breakfast, steel cut oats with apples, walnuts, and flaxseed. Lunch, leftovers from the week. Dinner, roasted root vegetables, baked beans, and collard greens. And in the evening, prepare components for the coming week. Cook the beans, chop vegetables, make smoothie packs. So, economic sovereignty through food. This is all the article that AI gave back to me. And it was based upon my writing style. And again, I emphasize the point. I submitted a sample of my writing style from an article that was entitled From Pen to Power. The power of the pen is mightier than the sword. The rest of this, Claude apparently searched the internet for many details and facts about me. And I don't even remember submitting my name. But my name was probably, it could have been in the sample. Economic sovereignty through food. Let me address the elephant in the room. Cost. The oppressor has convinced us that healthy food is expensive, that processed convenience is economical. This is propaganda designed to keep us dependent on foods that sicken us while enriching corporations. The truth, beans, rice, oats, seasonal vegetables, and bulk nuts cost less per serving than fast food, processed snacks, and meat-heavy diets. I feed my family of 4 on superfoods for less than $150 weekly. And my family of, this was much time ago. My family was 5 of us at its largest. And it was about $150 a week. Nowadays, food inflation, buying in bulk, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds, purchasing frozen organic vegetables when fresh is expensive, shopping at ethnic grocers for spices and specialty items, growing what I can, herbs, greens, tomatoes, and eliminating processed foods, sodas, and junk foods entirely. The initial transition requires reorganization, but within 1 month, most families discover they're spending less while eating infinitely better. This is economic liberation through nutritional sovereignty. Teaching children food consciousness. Quote, until the child learns to cook, the tale of dinner will always glorify the microwave, unquote. My adaptation of the Kenyan proverb, which that Kenyan proverb I so frequently use, it found it. It says, until the lion learns to write, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Well, until the child learns to cook, the tale of dinner will always glorify the microwave. I teach my children where food comes from. We visit farms when possible. We grow herbs and vegetables. We cook together on weekends. They know the names of vegetables, the origins of spices, and the difference between whole and processed foods. Very, very important. This knowledge is more valuable than money. A child who understands nutrition, who can prepare healthy meals, who recognizes how food affects their body and mind, this child possesses tools for lifelong well-being and resistance against industries that profit from their sickness. My daughter, at age 9, can prepare a complete superfood meal. A son, it said my son, a son at 12, should understand anti-inflammatory eating better than most adults. This is not precocity. This is a deliberate cultivation of sovereignty, one meal at a time. The alchemy of the kitchen. I possess transformative power in my kitchen. So do you. This is not a metaphor. This is biochemical reality. Every meal you prepare either contributes to wellness or disease. Every ingredient either nourishes or depletes. Every cooking lesson is an opportunity to practice ancestral healing or to perpetuate industrial poisoning. I choose healing. I choose sovereignty. I choose to wield the power of whole foods to reverse centuries of nutritional programming designed to keep my people dependent, sick, and profitable to the pharmaceutical and food industries that benefit from our suffering. Our kitchens are mightier than their laboratories. Our superfoods are more powerful than their prescription. Our commitment to nourishing our families is the foundation upon which we build liberated futures. Now we must perfect this craft. Thus, in engaging your sacred mission of feeding your family, you draw upon the collected wisdom of all the healers of our people whose knowledge has been preserved, first in oral tradition passed from grandmother to grandchild, and now using scientific research that confirms what we always knew. Until the cook learns their power, the tale of health will always glorify the doctor and the pharmaceutical company. Close quote. Feed your family well. This is how we win. And what do you think? Was that impressive? I do see you in the house, Eddie McCroy. I see you in the house, McCroy, I should say, McCroy. Sorry about that. Eddie McCroy. Ashe, he says, Joshua K. Power is in the house. Grand Rising. I'm listening from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey, Joshua, we need to get together, man. You're in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. What are you doing on Saturday? You should give me a call and let's get together. Let's get together this weekend. Call me or text me at 702-580-0662. Please. Yeah, man, let's get together. If you're here in Las Vegas, let's plot, let's scheme, let's plan, let's get this right. Let me show you what the living superfood experience tastes like. It's pretty awesome. My friend Curtis will be here. You're going to like Curtis. Curtis is a real solid brother. And I hope you can get together. He says, that sounds good. I'll reach out to you Saturday. Good. That's good. Please, I want to learn. I want to teach you, Brother Curtis, or Brother Joshua. I do want to teach you, no doubt whatsoever. And I will share with you, because I told Curtis I would share it with him, my personal program for healthy longevity, which has me vital and unassisted to age 118. 118. I got to keep to the program I'm on, though. I'm very strict about it. Already today, I woke up, I did my core exercises, I did my HIIT, 10 minutes HIIT. I weighed myself. I weighed today 141.6, I think it was, 141.6, which puts my body mass index. I got a calculator on my phone. My body mass index today was very good. It's below what I weighed when I was 25 years old. And what was my body mass index today? Here it is, my calculator. Coming up, I calculated every day, most every day. And my body mass index is 141.6, 21.2. 70 years of age, 5 foot 8.5 inches tall, 141.6 was my weight, and that's 21.2, which is slightly below the middle of perfect. So it's not perfect, it's better than perfect. We're planning on longevity. And I will share with you my longevity program. Now, you're not going to be able to implement it immediately because I engage in 34 deliberate processes, such as 3 times a day. I engage in 5 to 7 minutes of Tai Chi. And that's right before each of my push-up sessions. So, we're going to do this right. Wow, that's amazing, he says. And yesterday in my push-ups, let me show you what I did. I keep notes on my daily push-ups. I wake up, I do 150 was this morning's reps for my core exercises, 150 knees to the chest, leg lifts, and sit-ups, each 150 each. My weight today was, that was yesterday. My weight today was 141.6. And today is the 115. I do this every day. Reps, 150. Weight was 141.6. And it's BMI 21.7. 21.2. I was going to say, because 0.7, that's how much I weigh at 145. And I did my HIIT, high impact interval training, and that was 10 minutes. And then I'll do my push-ups this afternoon. I'll start them. And yesterday's push-ups, my first set was 350. My second set, and that's one set. A set means I start and I stop. That's a set. So 300, and my third set was 250. So yesterday the total was 650 plus 250, 900 push-ups for the day. For the day. And that's a good day. The day before that, I did 850. Day before that, 850. The day before that, 800. Day before that, 800. The day before that, 850 and 850. So for the last 7 days, that's how many push-ups I've done. 850 times 4 plus 2 times 800 is 1700 plus 1700 plus 2 times 1600 plus 1600, 1700. I did about 6,000 push-ups. I think. I didn't add those with a calculator, but 6,000 push-ups in 21 sets over the course of 7 days. That's how I plan to live between 122 and 127 with viability at 118. That's a pretty good plan. I want to teach as many of you. I do hope to be compensated for what I teach, especially if they're one-on-one classes. But how much is your life worth? How much would an extra 48 years of life expectancy, I think it's 48, how much of an extra 48 years of life expectancy, more than average, would that be worth? How much is it worth? Some people say it's priceless. And the key about it is not only will I be living long, but I plan on at 110, 115 to still be doing my HIIT. My run and walking for a minimum of 10 minutes, but for 7 months of the year I do 20 minutes. Because we don't like to run in cold weather. So what I did today was technology. We are studying AI. And AI helped me to design the program that let me give you that slice of my longevity. I gave it to you a couple of days ago. I hope you were with us. I think you might have been the only one with us a couple of days ago. But we can change the world by first changing ourselves. Our relationship is built on AI, ancestral intelligence. Today's lesson, once again, if you tuned in today, AI wrote what I read. Welcome to Tech and Future Talk in 2026. AI doesn't just assist, it blends seamlessly with your voice. This week's episode dives into using Claude AI to craft articles that mirror your unique style, so precisely you'll swear you wrote them. Discover how to train AI with your writing samples, fine-tune tone, and generate authentic content faster than ever. That article that I just read you today was generated in like 5 minutes or so. Now, what I'm going to do also is, because I am obsessing with this idea of healthy lifespan, a healthy long lifespan. And healthy is the word, healthy. No pharmaceutical drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco. I do not do alcohol. I do not do tobacco. I do not do drugs, pharmaceutical or recreational. I do not smoke marijuana. I do like marijuana, but I'm not going to smoke it. I like it as a medicinal. I think marijuana is good for the planet. It's good. Hemp is great for the soil. It is awesome. But I don't burn carbon and suck it into my lungs. That's not compatible with life. If you choose to do so, no problem. I have no problem at all with that. So we're going to move forward. We're going to do the best we can. I'm a little bit later today. I'm going to put my longevity program into Claude, and I'm going to have Claude write it out in a digestible pattern. Now, I have done it already. I use Perplexity for it, and I like Perplexity. That's my favorite go-to chat search and give me answers for this. And also, Perplexity has a tendency to connect me to a much larger dialogue. It reads what I prompted it for, and then it asks questions based upon their gaps in there. And I like working with Chat GPT, or Perplexity, which uses Chat GPT as its engine. So we're going to do the best we can to do the best we can. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. You've been tuned into, we hope to be your favorite. We hope to be your favorite place as the People's Academy. Tomorrow, I think I have a guest. This guest was, I had talked to them about being on with us on Wednesday. So I think it was a Pan-African dialogue. And then the person called right when I was going on the air. And I didn't even get his name, but I told him, I will reschedule you to Friday. Please call me as soon as possible and let's arrange that. And he did not call back. I've searched for him on my phone by the date, etc. I searched for him and I couldn't find him. So if he doesn't contact me, I hope he's listening right now. Then Friday, I'm going to plan my program, and the person might call 2 minutes before the show time, and I'm going to say, what's up? Why won't you call me? And I will ask him his name and his phone number. I'll have to do that. But come on, people. Let's collaborate. Let's cooperate. We cannot move forward with only one of us carrying the weight. We're going to balance the weight out between the two of us. And if you call me a minute before I'm going on the air, don't expect me to stop and take all these notes and things. So on that note, you've been tuned into your favorite LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. It's going to be a great day in your neighborhood. And I hope you found this lesson on using Claude AI as a writing instrument. We went through Claude once before, and it's pretty doggone awesome. It's a good writing program. For the AI writers, it's maybe the best program there is. I don't necessarily appreciate or like AI written materials. But now that I have discovered how Claude can fill in the gaps and very closely mimic what I would write, I'm going to go ahead and pursue that a little further. Thanks to you, we are all motivated. I put out the phone number for a text to call me. Let's all do the best we can to build a future together. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. And your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LAB Radio, LAB TV, livinginblack.com. And Rumble family, what's up with you? You're not showing up for our AI lessons. That's tragic, but it is what it is. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. From LAB Radio, LAB TV, livinginblack.com. Peace.